Um, Calling the meeting to order February 29th, leap year. Well, the Permanent Building Committee. To begin, is there anyone who wishes to engage in public participation? Seeing and hearing none. Lynn, take it
Okay.
away.
First on the agenda is the administrative actions. We'll go through we'll ask for a vote on the meeting minutes from the February 15th meeting. We'll do a quick update on the budget. We'll review the reconciled 90% construction document cost estimate comparison, which you all should have seen, and bonds pre-GMP 3, which is the contract will be amended by contract amendment number 6. So we'll be asking for a vote for that and a vote to approve the pre-qualified trade contractors that were reviewed and vetted by the pre-qualification subcommittee. And then we'll also ask for a vote to approve the preferred vendor for the materials testing and inspection services that was reviewed by the working group. Then we'll have a update on the abutters meeting that occurred 2 nights ago, and then a quick schedule update. First are the meeting minutes.
So I move that we approve the meeting minutes from February 15th, 2024. Second.
Second, thanks, Tom. Is there any questions or discussion? Hearing none, are there any objections to approving the meeting minutes of February 15th, 2024, the Permanent Building Committee, School Building Committee? Hearing none, they're approved.
Next is the cost comparison, comparison of the two estimates from PM&C and bond. The estimates were reconciled to less than 1% variance. I think it was a 0.98% variance. And at this point, we are tracking below our control budget of $220,459,379. We are using bonds estimate, the 218,903,263 as the basis of moving forward. Does anybody have any questions on the estimates? You should have received in your packet both estimates.
Yep, seeing none.
Okay.
The big thing is it's under the control budget, correct?
Yes, it is. We are tracking below the control budget, about $1.5 million, I think, below. And this is just a further breakdown of how those bonds cost breakdown in terms of direct building costs were the 184.9 million. Then our general requirements and general conditions total about 15 million, and the CM fees at 4.4 million, with contingencies, both design and pricing, the GMP contingency and escalation tracking at a total of 9.6 million. And then with insurances and bonds at another close to 4 million. That's what is comprised of the total construction cost.
Any questions on that? Okay, thank you, Lynn.
Okay. Then there were requested breakouts for the various components that people wanted to, or especially the WCAT. Right now we're tracking out that build at 3.4, almost $3.5 million. And then there are a couple of other alternates that we wanted to look at just to get additional pricing. But right now, all of the breakout items are included in construction costs, and the alternates are not at this point.
All right, any questions?
So just on the alternates, this is John, sorry. On the alternates, when during this would we, how far along do we get to that we start having decisions or choices to make about things we want to put in versus not have in there?
But I think at this point, we're getting pretty close to where we need to know if we're gonna add or not. And I don't know, if the design team wants to, or even Bond wants to discuss these two the two alternates that are included here.
The only thing I would offer is that the TAC board alternate is such a small number. It makes, in Bond's opinion, it makes sense probably to put it in. It's probably easier to not have to worry about the documentation of it from the design team side too. So, I mean, for 36,000 on the grand scheme of things, it probably makes sense just to put it in and not make it an alternate unless the design team feels differently. And the flooring at the gym, that's really probably a discussion for the design team and the owner. I mean, it's again, it's kind of within the budget. If it makes sense to carry it through as an alternate, we can do that. It's not a problem. But we're tracking pretty good on cost. I mean, there's still a little bit of time for the design to evolve between now and 100%, but we're targeting to be in pretty good shape.
Could you remind anybody, Lynn or Helen or anybody that what the base flooring is at the gym? What is that?
Well, it is a wood floor in the gym. I'm actually not versed in what this alternate is, so I would have to find out if this is the main gym or one of the other surfaces that are being referred to.
I think it's the auxiliary gym.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think we
Oh.
should hold off till we know what these actually are and people are ready to be presented. I think it would be premature to discuss them tonight because people aren't ready to pitch them one way or the other.
Agreed, and maybe the next working group, we could have a deeper discussion. But yeah, I would sort of lean in the direction of David's note about the Schluter edge. It's just a cleaner detail. So again, let us take these and make our cases as we will and bring
All right, why
something
don't we-
forward.
Why don't we put them on the agenda for the next working group meeting, the two of them, okay?
Perfect.
Thank you.
Thank
Any other questions or comments? Hearing none. Go ahead, Lynn.
Okay, next up is, the pre-GMP 3, and from early on, and I don't know if this didn't get modified, but we were looking for concrete, steel, elevator, site work, and site improvements. We have narrowed that down to, we're pushing concrete, steel, and elevator to the next PBC meeting because we still have some de-scoping to do on those trades. And we just wanted to take the time to make sure we got cost correct. So in the one that we're asking for approval on tonight, and it is the one that is the spreadsheet that is indicated here, we're just asking for site work and ground improvements. And the general requirements, general conditions, holes, allowances, insurance, and bonds associated with that. And the value of pre-GMP 3 is $38,011,421. And I know that Joe had asked the question about how much of this was below budget. And we had, for site work, we had a $810,686.15 below budget. And for ground improvements, $28,965. But when you add the markups to that, that totals just under $1 million at around 972,526.79. So we are tracking below in this section. And I believe if we had added the other ones, the value of the amount that we were tracking below would have been greater. So, but for this particular pre-GMP, that's the value.
And we're not risking anything and not approving concrete and elevator tonight.
We're set. It's gonna be in 2 weeks is our next PBC meeting, and we felt that it was okay with the schedule, but that site work and ground improvements were critical to get approved tonight. We will also be looking further at the ground improvements. So you might see something else on that with the next pre-GMP 4. But for now, we feel comfortable with what we're presenting for site work and ground improvements. Bond, I don't know if you have more to say, or Helen.
No, I agree. I mean, in 2 weeks, we would certainly like to get concrete and steel, but 2 weeks is not critical at this point where it would be for the site trades.
All right, any other questions or comments before we have a motion? All right.
All right, I move that we approve for preempt. Well, you moved it to the contract amendment. I need the
Here it is.
I
It's-
don't need the contract amendment. I need the other one, right?
Contract Amendment 6 is pre-GMP 3.
Okay. So I move that we approve bond CM contract amendment number 6, pre-GMP number 3 for early procurement for,
Site work and ground improvements.
yeah, for site work and ground improvements, in the amount of, then why does it say structure? Okay, so this just isn't written right. Okay. Ground improvements in the amount of $38,011,421.
Second. Thanks, Tom. So this is just for the site work and ground improvements.
Correct.
Any questions or comments before we vote? Seeing and hearing none. John,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Aaron,
Yes.
Wayne,
Yes.
Chip,
Yes.
unanimous.
You. So next on the agenda, and I'll turn this over to SMMA, but this is a review of the 90% construction document submission. You should have received a link to that. It's pretty lengthy, but we are asking tonight for a vote to submit it to MSBA tomorrow.
I know you've all read the 1,000 pages or however many.
Yeah, are you gonna quiz us, Helen? or-
I would not dare do that to you. This is thankfully our last submission to the MSBA of this length. We do, at 100% send them a set, but this is the final set of documents, set of submissions that gets reviewed by them. And so, yes, we're happy to have reached this milestone.
Helen, did the updates that came from the page turn go into this set?
They did. Anything that we discussed with you, yes, those are in.
Okay. Great.
Any other questions or comments? Okay,
I vote that we approve this. I move that we approve the submission of the 90% construction documents submission to the MSBA tomorrow.
Second.
any further questions before we vote? Hearing none. John,
Yes.
Mark,
Yes.
Tom,
Yes.
Aaron,
Yes.
Wayne,
Yes.
Chip,
Yes.
unanimous.
Thank you. So Tim, do you want to take over this section?
Sure. One of the things we completed recently is, as required by law when bidding the filed subtrades, we have to pre-qualify them before they are given the bid documents. The bid documents will be issued to the pre-qualified traders in April. But this is basically just a list by trade of the firms that submitted and approved. All the firms that submitted statements of qualification were approved by the pre-qualifications committee. They're all well known to us, Bond, SMMA, except for a couple painters, but is painting. So all these firms are more than capable of doing the work, so there was no real reason to disqualify any of the ones that submitted. I don't know if Bond or SMA have anything to add to that. Does not sound like it, so.
So there was a a evaluation process and a scoring process. We used Bid Docs Online that does the automatic scoring of the submission of qualifications that were submitted, and everyone scored the requisite points in order to be pre-qualified. And again, like Tim said, the pre-qualification committee reviewed those scores, reviewed the firms under each of the trade categories, and didn't find any reason to disqualify any of those listed. We did get a really good turnout under all of the trades, which is good and often has been an issue recently in the past in terms of other bigger projects.
Okay. So is there, we have a motion to accept?
Yeah, I just didn't know if there were any other questions, Joe. I move that we approve the recommendations of the WMHS pre-qualification subcommittee to approve all pre-qualified FSB contract firms as presented.
Second.
Any questions or comments before we vote? Hearing none. John?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Aaron?
Yes.
Wayne?
Yes.
Chip?
Yes.
It's unanimous.
Okay, Tim?
One of the other recent procurement updates is materials testing and inspection services. This is the firm that will be responsible for third-party review of installation and materials on site during construction for quality. And we received proposals from 6 firms. One, Intertech PSI, did withdraw their proposal post submission. So at the end of the day, we chose between 5 firms, and UTS of Massachusetts was the preferred vendor selected. UTS is just next door in Stoneham, so very close to the project site, which is a real benefit when hiring one of these companies. Their pricing, all firms had to submit, in addition to their technical proposal, a price proposal. And that price proposal, all the UTS was either competitive or significantly below any of their competitors. So that will be they will be held to those unit rates throughout the project. So that was a great benefit. And I won't name which ones, but UTS also performs all the testing and inspection services that were required for the project, whereas their competitors had to outsource some of those testing.
I move that we approve UTF of Massachusetts as the preferred materials testing and inspectional services vendor.
Second.
Is there any questions or comments before we vote? Hearing none. John?
Yes.
Mark?
Yes.
Tom?
Yes.
Aaron?
Yes.
Wayne?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Unanimous.
Okay, thank you. So, there was an abutters meeting, on Tuesday night. And as part of that meeting, we offered pre-construction inspection services of homes that were immediately, adjacent to the project site, plus all of the houses on Wiley Street. And this is the letter that was sent out or will be sent out to all of these homes that's shown in this greenish yellow color. And I believe you were all provided with this letter in your packet, and if everybody's okay with the language that's in it, we would like to get these sent out tomorrow.
Any questions or comments regarding the letter regarding existing condition surveys? Hearing none. Does anybody object to the letter? Hearing none. So looks good to me, Lynn.
Okay, thank you. And so for, we plan to submit the 90% submission tomorrow, March 1st. Our next PBC meeting is March 14th. Bond will be mobilizing on site on the 18th. And I'm not sure about this date, but Bond's field office opens on April 8th. Is that correct? And May 17th is tentatively set for the groundbreaking ceremony. I believe at 11 o'clock, right, Tim?
MSBA has not responded yet. If that either 10:30 or 11, but they haven't said one way or the other yet.
Okay.
May 17th is a Friday, so hopefully as many members of the permanent building committee can attend, the better.
We're looking to try to involve students as well as faculty and staff.
Lynn, I would just say that the Bond Field office is TBD. So
Okay.
once we get the dense grade prepped, we'll be basically scheduling Triumph to deliver those, but it'll be a work in progress getting that set up.
Okay, yeah, I wasn't sure, oops. I wasn't sure if that had been, was a firm date or not.
I wouldn't say so, but probably not the most critical date.
That looks more like our delivery date of the field office than it's being open.
Right.
Yeah.
And that's all I have for tonight. If anybody else has any comments.
Okay. I want to thank everybody for many of the permanent building committee members for either at or on Zoom for the the abutters meeting, and appreciate that and appreciate your time tonight. If that's all, I'll gladly accept a motion to adjourn. Well, I
Motion
guess
to adjourn.
Second.
all in favor, click that leave meeting button. Take care, everybody.